Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to Be Your Best You with Tash and Becky, your go-to hangout for all things spiritual, subconscious, and downright magical. We're here to sprinkle a little mystical wisdom into your everyday life and help you level up your reality.
Picture this as your cosmic coffee date, where we chat about the unseen world, blend in some psychology vibes and stir up the subconscious magic. Get ready to be the queen of your own reality, live a life that lights you up and have a blast doing it.
So grab your latte or your tea and let's dive into another episode of Be Your Best You, where the mystical meets the mundane and your best life awaits.
Cheers to creating magic together.
Let's do this.
Hi! Welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash.
And Becky, the Bash edition.
And today we are going dark.
Yes.
We are talking about the dark side
Mm.
of the simulation or of the illusion that we are living in within the simulation. What is this? So this is definitely a follow-on from our episode last week where we spoke about how we live in a simulation and we're coding our reality. And we felt like this was the next step that we had to address
Yeah.
on that topic because it's really important in helping you maintain your healthy code. Oh God, when is this going to end? But yeah, so I really want to stress this is not about conspiracy theories.
No.
This is not about inciting fear or getting you to feel uncomfortable or uneasy. This is very much about acknowledging that there are two sides to everything. In inverted commas, good and bad. We're living in polarity. And if you don't see both sides or acknowledge at least that both sides exist, you are missing a trick. And in this context that we talk about, it's a huge key to creating a reality that actually comes from your full potential. We're talking on a very zoomed out scale, on a high level of consciousness and understanding. Please don't get scared. Please listen to this. Because actually, for me personally as well, I feel so strongly about the message that is contained within this episode. Forget the whole simulation and dark forces, etc. It's really about you and it's understanding your power and how to harness it and how to step out of this illusion of fear that we are all living in to some extent. And when you can understand this, it will change everything for you because it's really coming from a higher level, a higher perspective. And like I always say with my clients, when we work on this higher level, everything else underneath it, all the specifics, all the smaller, intricate issues and problems and beliefs, they just drop away because when you work at this level, you're just taking all this out, you're reducing loads of your work, and it will make things become a lot clearer for you, and it will help you. Like we said, the most important thing, the thing that I feel so passionate about, the reason we do this podcast is to help you get back in touch with your power, to empower you to step out of fear and into empowerment and just being who you came here to be.
Yes, we really hope you enjoy this one.
Enjoy
It's a good one.
Hey guys, can we ask you a favour?
Can we ask, if you haven't already, please make sure that you're following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you can get updated with all the latest episodes every week when they come out. You never know, it might just be the thing that you need to hear at that time. Also, don't forget you can watch us on YouTube, so make sure you head over there and subscribe to us there.
And share with all your friends.
Thanks, guys. Today on the show, we are talking about the dark side that is keeping you in this illusion, following on from obviously what we were talking about in our previous episode last week about the fact that we're living in a simulation, but we are the coders and we get to create whatever we want.
Yeah.
So it made sense. And after we recorded that last one, I texted you, didn't I? And I was like, right, we need to, this is what we need to talk about next. Because I think that it needs to be
Definitely.
addressed.
It does.
So this makes me think about how way back when we first started the podcast, remember we were talking about all the light and airy and lovely stuff.
Yeah.
And then we shared about kind of like the our personal experiences in childhood of the darker side of spirit and all of that, and the unseen world.
Yeah.
Not to scare people, absolutely not, but I think we have to acknowledge that when we come into this spiritual world, there can be a tendency, depending on how you come through it, because people come through it in different ways, right? We came through it from the fear side, didn't we? Because, as we explained, we were very scared of the unseen world. We were scared of the spiritual world. We shut it down because of the experiences that we had that weren't so nice as children.
Yeah.
When you don't know what's going on and you're open to all this stuff and you don't know what's going on, right? So I know a lot of people come through it through that side.
Yeah.
The people that haven't maybe necessarily had those experiences through childhood and haven't been scared of the unseen world of ghosts because maybe they just don't believe in it or whatever. There can be a tendency to just be all love and light and everything's beautiful and la la la, rainbows and sunshine and buttercups and unicorns, which it is, but we have to address, like we've said so many times, and like we said in last week's episode. By the way, if you haven't watched last week's episode, go back and watch that one before this one, because it's kind of a following on. Because we come down here to Earth, to this school, to this lower dimension where there is polarity, we have to accept that. I think that's one of our lessons. Like that's why we've come down here to understand polarity and acknowledge that there is. And I think that if you're in this spiritual journey and if you're trying to basically, like we were saying, the whole point of last week's episode was the fact that we're trying to wake up in the dream. If we're doing that, we have to acknowledge and I put this in inverted commas, the darker side of things to be able to get that neutrality. Yeah. And also to get back to a place of empowerment within yourself.
Right.
Because
we're sovereign, aren't we?
Exactly right. Yeah. And I think that's one of the lessons as well, to realise that though there are, let's say, lower densities instead of darker forces, though there are lower densities, they don't have any power over us unless we give it to them. Yeah. And that's what this episode is kind of going to be really focused on, but in the context of how we were saying that we live in a simulation.
Yeah. It's all part of the Earth School, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well, to learn about these darker forces. I think we all have to go through that and experience a little bit of that to get to the other side, like we have, where we know we have the power and we're in charge.
Yes.
So,
and you know what I also like to think as well, because you know how my mind works, and I'm always trying to like be fair, rationalize my Libra moon, as we learn. I don't think that episode's come out yet, but you will. So I think that I like to think, again, as from a multi-dimensional perspective of we've lived many lives, we're learning, we're evolving, that we've been lower vibration souls potentially. You know, there's things that we've done and there's lives we've lived where we have been the dark ones. And so again, it's about this whole releasing judgment, this very human egoic kind of perspective of you know, bad and good. And it's more about, again, getting back to the energy of things, getting back to frequency and densities and saying, right, well, that's just a lower density. And
that's already less scary, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, let go of the judgment. Let go of this human judgment and just see it for what it is from a neutral perspective. And then, like you said, it takes away the fear, but also it can give you compassion and understanding, because we're all learning and we were there once and maybe we'll be there again, because time isn't linear and who knows, it's all about the soul's journey. But what and how I like to see it, and again, this is like, it's the way I make you see rats and stuff as cute. I have a way of
honestly,
like turning fear into
program me.
I just had like this image of my, like in my head of like, one of my skills is, you see like this terrible like scary demon thing, and then I just get my little magic wand and I go and it turns into loads of flowers.
You are amazing at that. that.
So how I like to just see it really is that it's like these lower, darker, for lack of a better word, souls, beings, energies, whatever, they're just further away from remembering where they came from source, from light. So the further away, the further away you get from remembering who you are, the more dense, the more dark you become and low vibrational you become.
Yeah.
And so when I see it like that, I'm just like, oh, I feel bad. I feel sorry for them. I'm like, and it gives me that thing that I have, which it just drives me every day, is like, help them remember who they are. Send them love to try and help them remember who they are. Not from a, like, like, oh, I must help them remember who I are, or I'm trying to fix them. No, it's just like, I send you love and I see you, and I'm, like, just that, and that's it, and that's enough. You don't have to attach a story to it. You don't have to say that it's evil or it's dark forces, or attaching all these egoic stories that say people are out to get you. And because, again, like we said, this episode is supposed to be, it's not coming from scare tactics, it's not coming from things like conspiracy theories and all of that, which a lot of this conversation can be surrounded by out there. The reason that we want to do this is because this is coming from a place of remembering, again, who you are. You are sovereign, you are light, and the dark cannot outshine the light. And it's not about fighting.
No.
It's about shining.
Oh, yes. Exactly. And that's easy. That's a lot easier.
Yeah. Like, well, yes, it is, but it puts you back in control.
Yeah.
Because when you are no longer trying to fight and you are just shining and being who you are, exuding your light, that is when the fight gets dropped. There's no battle there. And also the fear gets dropped, the anger gets dropped, the anxiety gets dropped, the hopelessness and the helplessness, all of those emotions that, quite frankly, a lot of people are feeling in the world right now with the state of the world. It all gets dropped when you see it from that perspective. So with all of that being said, that's kind of a roundup of where we're going here. I want people to listen to this with a view to empowerment, to help you remember and feel like,
it's
it
your
gets
game.
to be like that,
You're
right?
in control.
Exactly. It's your game, you're in control. Just let this episode come from that place. That's what we really want to kind of get out there. Okay, so shall we make it make sense? Should we put it into context?
Yes, please.
So, like, we were obviously talking about last week about the fact that we live in a simulation. This is all created by us, and that's us on an individual level. But it's also us collectively. And that's why we're all kind of experience similar things, because there are collective beliefs that are creating this reality that have come from millennia. And so we are all, projecting that out as well as our own realities. So that's why, like we've said before, you can have two people sat in a coffee shop, and one person sat there can be contemplating whether or not they want to end their life because everything is going wrong for them, and then you can have and they see the world as hopeless, and it's out to get them, they've got no control, and then you can have someone sat right next to them where they're just like, life's incredible, I'm so abundant, I'm so lucky. And I'm not saying that one person is rich, one person is poor. It's not about that. It could be the other way around. It's true. Not about the external, it's about the projection that you're putting out there, right? So this is why we can have two completely separate realities, two members of the same family.
You can live in the same house, can't
exactly.
you? Have totally different experiences.
So I think it's important to understand, though, that we are living in we are creating our own separate realities, but we are also governed by collective beliefs that are projecting into this reality as well, which give us certain rules and the way we're all seeing the world to a certain extent. So with that, then, obviously, we can all sit here and say that the world seems to be...
the news seems to be the biggest problem, doesn't it? And the media.
I
feel like the media is the darkest force sitting like a dark cloud sitting over Earth
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And it's like a real battle, isn't it, to try and like navigate that, because even if you don't watch the news, it's on your phone, or you hear someone, you know, in the supermarket say something, or your you know, family member says something, and you just can't really escape it. You can minimize it, can't you? But it's hard, isn't it, because you also want to live in the real world and know what's going on.
Yeah. And this is an interesting
Because
conversation.
what is the real world?
Exactly. Because, you know, we've had so, you know, I don't watch the news at all.
Yeah.
I don't have it on my phone. I am not up to date with anything really going on. Obviously, I know what's going
Day to day,
but day to day stuff, I don't know. Like, you'll say, "Oh, did you see such and such happen?" I'll be like, "No, what?"
Yeah.
So obviously, I am up to date, and I know that I get up to date because I know that you will tell me things that I need.
Yeah, anything major.
Anything major, I'm going to hear it. But even between us two, we are living in very different realities.
Yeah, we are. Yes, and I've been trying to achieve your reality. But at the same time, having to be part of watching the news and the media just because it's like on in my house.
Yeah.
And it seems to be wherever I go. And I think I've cracked it. I do. Like, now I hear people say things today that would have really scared me before, and it would totally have drawn me in. So shall I give an example?
Yeah, please.
Like Ant Middleton.
Right.
So he's running for mayor, isn't he? So I'm going there, Tash. Okay. Right. So he I saw he was on my phone, and he was talking about, 'cause you know he's military, isn't he? Ex-military.
Yeah.
He was saying, you know, how obviously he's got his ear to the ground with the military stuff, and you know, he knows people and he has information. And why do you think they're sending all the illegal immigrants to military bases? Because they're gathering an army, you know, to attack us, right? And this is it sticks in my mind because it's the first time, like, because that's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? That's heavy.
Yeah.
That would have scared me
Yeah.
once upon a time. And I really surprised myself because I was like, ha ha ha, I can see what you're doing there. You're trying to scare everybody into voting for you to be mayor. And it's like, but I really I know we all know they play these games, but you can't. Fear is so strong, isn't it? Sometimes you're sucked in, you don't even realise. And it's the first time I've ever just like sort of chuckled at it and thought, oh, bless him. Look, he's really desperately trying to gather votes off the back of fear.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
It's been difficult.
Yeah.
But that, once upon a time, wouldn't that have terrified me?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
I'd be like, oh, Tash, they're gathering armies.
Yeah.
You know, get ready. We're going to be attacked in our beds.
Well, and the thing is like you said, fear, it overtakes you, right? Because it's your nervous system.
Yeah. You don't even think to take a step back, do you? And say, hang on.
No.
How am I coming at this?
No, because you're going in fight or flight.
Totally.
So you've been completely activated.
Yeah.
And then not only does that just last for that topic, but then you're walking around in your everyday life like you are just about to be attacked.
Oh, yeah.
And your whole reality shifts because you're living from that fear.
Yeah, horrible.
But what I also want to say with regards to that example that you gave is that, again, it's perfect because it's not about blaming people and getting angry at Ant Middleton and making him, I'm not saying you're doing that, but do you know what I mean? Like,
no, I know.
You know, and making him out to be this evil character.
I didn't feel that. No.
But some people might. So I just thought this was a really good example because, like you said, you know, oh, you see what he's doing. He's trying to incite fear to get what he wants, basically.
Yeah.
But again, what we have to understand is that he's living in his reality.
Yes.
He's creating his reality. So from where he is, like you said, he was ex-military.
Yeah.
He's seen the world from a certain perspective, okay? It's very, very real to him.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, a lot of people... Now, okay, I'm not stupid. I know there are some really just desperately horrible people out there. Again, I do see them as souls. But I'm not... Like I said, there are some people out there who are really deliberately, consciously doing things like that.
Yeah.
But I do also think that for the most part, humans are good. They are inherently good. And I also know from obviously the work that I do with the subconscious mind and all of this, understanding this whole reality thing, is that we are being run by our subconscious a lot of the time, and being run by beliefs we don't even know we have, and seeing the world in a way that we don't understand, like is potentially skewed to what we all are. I'm sat here, I'm doing it now, you're doing it, we're all doing it because we're humans and we're being affected by it. The whole point is to try and unlearn that as we go through life, right? That's why we do this podcast and talk about this stuff. But Anne Middleton, his reality is one of, you know, oh God, this is war, fear, bad. These people are doing that. He's been programmed. So
he's on high alert constantly. Yeah.
And, you know, he could be doing it because he's really trying to save London or save the UK.
He really could believe that. Yeah.
And again, we don't know.
Perspective,
it's
isn't
all
it?
perspective.
Yeah.
But it's about trying to, in these circumstances, and there's so many. That was one kind of small example. There's so many that have got more emotion attached to it, more fear attached to it.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's all the same.
Yeah.
If you can zoom out and look at these things from this kind of perspective, that they're living in their reality.
Yeah.
Yes, we're living a collective reality as well, but they're living in their reality. As much as they're living in their reality, you are living in your reality.
Yeah.
So that can all be going on. But it's your choice as to whether you let Ant Middleton. Sorry, Ant.
Please don't sue us.
It's your choice as to whether you let him incite fear and make your nervous system go like that, or where you can go like what you did and just go,
yeah,
I see that for what it is.
Yeah.
Bless you, on your way.
Yeah.
But I'm over here living in my reality, and I'm not going to allow that to affect my reality. I'm not sticking my head in the sand.
No.
But I am also right?
Yeah.
And okay, that's going on. Sure, there are, what was it? Immigrants being put into military bases.
To form armies.
Sure, maybe that's happening.
Maybe, who knows?
But you have a choice as to whether you allow that reality to slip into your reality.
Yeah, exactly. That fear. And it's like I've reprogrammed myself now. When I hear fear, it's like a trigger for like lightheartedness almost, like what's this about? Yeah.
Right.
So whereas before, oh God, it had me. Hook, line and sinker.
Yes.
I was like, and for what?
Yeah.
What was that doing? Nothing's happened to me.
Right.
There's been no
Not
disasters.
here. Yeah.
No, like what a waste of my time and energy. But I had to do all this to get to it. But yeah, now I see fear as a trigger for paying attention and seeing what's actually going on there, and I don't feel the fear.
Yeah. It's
difficult though, isn't it? To get to that point is like a whole thing.
Been a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, exactly. And it is all about coming back to the understanding that you are the one with that VR headset on. You are the one programming the code.
That's it.
And that right there is going to project onto your reality.
Yeah.
Like, let me give a really stupid example.
Yeah.
So you probably would be better to tell it. But whenever it was, when I was in Dubai.
Oh my God, this was such a good. When was that?
Was it a couple years
like
ago, or was it my birthday? It was.
Yeah.
So it was last year. Anyway, it's when all the riots were going on over here.
Oh, it was the Southport riots, wasn't it?
I don't even know because it doesn't exist in my reality.
Honestly, so yeah, we had the Southport riots. The country was burning, or so they'd have you think. I mean, it certainly was in Stockport. They'd had all that trouble, you know, riots in the streets and mayhem, wasn't it? And Tash was in Dubai living a very different reality. And I was like, obviously I didn't text her to tell her any of this because she doesn't need to know. But also I felt that it was like just everywhere. You probably would have heard it anyway. And then when you came back, I was like...
Well, my dad had messaged me and said something.
Right.
But, and I was like, oh, he sounds really worried. He sounds really concerned. But I didn't, again, because I'm like, do I choose? There's a conversation that needs to come from this in a second, because I can hear like, oh, yeah, it's all right. Tash
Oh,
is
it's all right
living in
for
La
you,
La
in
Land.
Dubai.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to
It's not
go
like
on to
that,
that. It's not
yeah.
like that. But, you know, again, it's all about choice. It's
Yeah.
all about me coming from a perspective of, and there is a conversation that's going to follow from this as well as to why I do this. There is a reason that is coming from how I believe
Yeah.
I can make a change,
Yeah.
and this is why I'm doing it. I'm not just doing it so, oh, Tash is all right, I'm living in La La Land.
Not at all,
I'm not. There is a reason behind that. So there's two conversations that need to come from this. But when my dad said to me, and I could clearly see that he was concerned, and it was,
Yeah.
I was like, this is something.
Mm.
I chose in that moment to not get attached to that story, because I'm like,
yeah,
am
what are you gonna do?
Am I here? Am I safe? Am I okay? Is my family okay? Am I having a lovely time? I am. If I need to know about it, I trust I will need to know about it. Can I do anything about the riots in the UK right now? No. So I'm going to choose to detach from that. And I didn't look at the news. Now, I could have at that point gone, oh,
yes,
you know, let me go onto Sky News app. Let me go and have a look.
Yeah.
I deliberately made a conscious choice not to do that. But then obviously I came home.
And then by the time you came home, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's like it never happened.
Yeah.
And like, it's like you'd been in this like, you know, time vortex, isn't it? Where it just didn't happen. If your dad hadn't phoned you,
I would never have known.
You wouldn't have even known.
Never have known.
You came back, it was all over. Oh, you know, and what would that have done?
Exactly.
So like you ruining your holiday and being upset
and
because, you know, something you can't do anything about, do you know what I mean, was all over by the time you got back.
Yeah.
I mean,
was I going to go in there and stop the riots?
Exactly.
Was I?
It was such a great example for me.
Yeah.
To see that.
Yeah.
That what you did there as well.
Yeah.
You know, because you did know what was going on. But you had to make a choice.
Yeah.
And look, you would have ruined your family's holiday for what?
And
for nothing.
There's a much deeper point here than just ruining my family's holiday. It's it comes back to my nervous system.
Exactly.
It comes back to that's code that's now being programmed into my reality, where I have to be on high alert that the world is going to pop. Oh my God, I need to be scared because there could be riots that are coming to my door. And what does that mean? Does that mean that we're not going to have any food? Does that mean my house is going to get burnt down? Does that mean the world's going to end? And right? What is the point? Do I want that coded in my reality? No. Now listen, if the riots came down to where we're living right now, well, then it's in my reality, then I need to deal with it. And I will. And I trust that when that happens, I will deal with it.
We're not like, la, 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 la,
No.
that's not going on, like pretending something's not going on that is going on. No, we're not doing that.
And also, it was really, that was a real, like it taught you a lesson. It really showed me as well experientially, because that's what all this is about. You have to live it. You have to be doing it in your real life. There's no point in just listening to a podcast like this, because it can just be words. You have to go, let it spark something in you, let it change your perspective, and then go out and practice it in life. Because when you feel it, it becomes real, it becomes tangible. When you were telling me about the chaos that was going on, it was so unreal. It's surreal. It was so surreal to me, because I was like, I have no memory, no recollection, no understanding of this. It's like you were telling me something that I was just like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist to me.
No.
It didn't exist.
No.
It still doesn't exist to me. So you guys all listening potentially have lots of memories of how you felt in that time, what you saw on the news, what you watched, what you were talking about, what you heard. And I have nothing. I have none of that. Now, has anybody suffered because I don't have any of those memories, or because I didn't know about that, or because I didn't feel fear about that? Definitely not.
No.
Have I benefited? Yeah, lovely. I'm so glad that I don't have that memory.
And everyone around you,
Yeah,
full benefits.
And now let me go into the conversation then. Oh, I also want to give one more silly example. I remember closer back to COVID time, because I stopped watching I checked out of the news in COVID. That was my kind of checkout. I'd already before COVID I'd already started checking out of it, because I remember I did used to like look at Sky News before I went to bed, and I can remember it so clearly. I can still see it. The night that I just said I'm not doing it anymore. There was 3 separate stories about children and families dying in house fires. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Obviously, you know, my thing with fire anyway. So that was going to always do it for me. But it was a culmination of, why am I why am I
yourself.
torturing myself?
Yeah.
Why am I looking at this? Because I would just before bed as well, which
Oh.
now we know like is the worst thing you
Yeah.
can do because you're programming your subconscious right before you sleep and you're in hypnosis to go carry on with that fear.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? Because can I save those kids? Like, obviously, I feel so deeply, as most people listening to this podcast will be deep feelers.
Yeah.
It was hurting me on a deep, deep level, and there was nothing I could do about it. I felt totally helpless, and I could feel this doom, this like, it was like a black hole sucking me up, and I just thought, I'm not doing this anymore.
How are you shining then?
Exactly, right? So I stopped watching the news along, like back then, and then COVID, done. No, not doing this anymore. And so after COVID, there was an incident where there was like a shortage of eggs and tomatoes.
Yes. Yeah, you totally missed that too, didn't you?
I totally missed it. So I didn't hear any of the news, any of the, like, there's
quick, get
quick
your tomatoes.
And I remember going out in the morning, I was like, I'm going to make a fried breakfast. Walked across my shop, grabbed my tomatoes, grabbed my eggs, got back in the house, had enjoyed it. And then I went out for a walk with you and you were like, what have you heard? There's an egg shortage and tomato shortage. I was like, what?
I just had my breakfast.
Yeah. I just had some delicious fried tomatoes and fried egg. And then my dad called me up like, oh, God, yeah. No tomatoes, no eggs, better get out. I'm like, what the hell? And it was then, again, so clearly I saw, wow.
That was such a good
I wasn't being able to be programmed. I couldn't program my reality with the fact that there was no eggs or tomatoes because I was staying away from the media.
Yeah.
And I wasn't watching the media.
Yeah.
It wasn't coded in my reality. Therefore, I walked into the shop and I picked up some eggs and tomatoes.
Yeah.
That right there was, again, one of those moments where it landed.
There's your evidence.
There's my evidence because you cannot make that up.
No.
And so I just wanted to give that one as well because it's silly, but again, it was one of those light bulb moments where it's something sunk in and I don't forget. I hang on in my moments where I really need to remind myself that I'm creating my own reality and I need some strength or courage in any way, whether I'm trying to manifest something or whether I'm trying to negate fear if something does get into my reality and I do hear stuff and I have a choice, I go back to that. And that's why I encourage you guys to go and put this stuff into practice so you can have those moments to help you, like those little anchors to help you remember and have the strength to know that it is a game, it is a reality and I am coding it and you become so precious. I am so freaking protective and precious of what I am absorbing. And so now let's move on. So this is why I don't watch the news. This is why it's not because I am oblivious,
isn't it?
It's self-love. It's also for the bigger purpose, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is the whole reason why we need to get this out there. We wanted to do this podcast episode and we want to get as many people understanding this as possible because it is in numbers that we make changes, and we have to think of this on an energetic, unseen perspective, because if you can't, this isn't going to work because you're just your logical mind's just going to go, that's nonsense, that doesn't make any sense, chuck it out. But you have to think in terms of all the things, all the guests we spoke about on the podcast, all the things we've talked about the unseen world, about what's going on, about how reality is not what you believe, so that you can understand where we're coming from when we say this next thing. Okay, so it's not about me being selfish or me being like, oh, well, I'll just please myself, ignorant. It's not that I don't care.
No.
Because I do. The problem is I do care so deeply. Like I said, that's why I turn off the news. It affects me. So I got to a point where I was like, when I'm seeing all these wars or all these people suffering, or riots in wherever, and hate crimes, all of the terrible stuff that is going on in this world. And again, I am not in any way saying that it's not real or detaching myself from it. It's very real. These are people's realities. People are living this. But again, I will always come back. This is where everything comes back together. I will always go back to, we chose these lives. Now people can either agree with me and this can trigger people, or I'm at this point, like, it's fine. I don't, I know there's questions. Well, why would people choose to have children die? Why would people choose to be abused?
Yeah.
Why would people choose to be brought up in a war-torn country? There are reasons. I believe, from, again, my experience, I believe there are reasons for this, and I believe we've all chosen in certain lives to be in those situations. I believe that I've lived in situations like that. I'm very lucky, and I have gratitude for this life that I've landed in now, but I also believe there is a choice for that. And I believe that I have to use instead of sat here feeling guilty for me living in the life that I live in, the area, the country I live in, the way my life is, instead of feeling guilty, do something with it. I am in a very privileged position. Do something, do what I can. Because I can sit here and feel guilty for it. And believe me, I've had to do a lot of inner work. I'm still not done. I've had to do a lot of inner work around that whole guilt. But what I realized is, I'm not helping anyone.
No.
My guilt of my where I live and my comfort is not helping someone who's living in Gaza.
No.
At all.
Well, to be honest, like, because I'm watching the news, there is a lot of these, maybe people coming from another perspective from me, shall we say, are there because of guilt. They have guilt about their own lives, and they're there, but they're actually causing, like you just said, you feeling guilty isn't going to help anybody. And in fact, I'm seeing people with this guilt and they're causing more damage instead of doing something like what you're doing now and just trying to empower people to love themselves and love each other. They are going out and they are wrecking a whole other, demographic because of their guilt. I see that a lot. So you saying that just triggered that in me. Like, I can see it so clearly. It's coming from guilt, but it's been skewed. And so then they're affecting other groups of people.
And this is the thing, right? So again, I choose to see the good in everybody. Because I think we are all good. We're all fractals of God. We're all, from the same place, but some of us have just forgotten and have come further away from that. Some of us have chosen to live lives where we're living in that way so that we can learn lessons and come back to remember it. There's a whole load of stuff going on. But what I think is really important is that if I continue to allow myself to be affected by all the horrors that are going on in the world, there's a whole load of stuff that comes from that. So there's fear is the biggest one. Fear, and let's go back to why we started talking about the dark side of the illusion, of this illusion that we're living in. I do think there are beings, people, souls, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I literally don't know.
No.
But again, it's
how
just it's the feel,
yeah.
right? There are forces that are
taken hold,
that are of a darker, lower vibration that wish to keep us in this illusion.
Yes.
When I say this illusion, we know we're living in a simulation. Or we don't know. I believe that we're living in a simulation, an illusion, right? Okay, and the illusion is of what these people, these forces are trying to make us believe is again to forget who we are. Who are we? Unlimited, powerful light beings, fractals of God, who are creators of and whose natural state is love, peace, abundance, joy, all of those beautiful things. That's our natural state. But we come down here, and I believe we choose it. We come down here, we enter this simulation. I also think that a lot of us have come into this simulation to help wake people up. Don't think everybody's chosen to do that in this lifetime.
No.
But I think there are a lot of us, and that's the people like I want to work with. I'm want to talk to. Pretty sure that people listening to this, you are one of them. We've chosen to come in here and wake people up from the inside. Problem is, we get in the simulation, we put our VR headsets on, and then these dark forces have created this illusion, this like prison of scarcity, of fear of our survival, of forgetting who we are. And this is where we have to, I feel like, we have to start standing up. We have to be the soldiers. We have to be the brave ones that go first and go, we're going to break through this illusion, and we're going to help others do it. Now, by us doing it ourselves, we are helping others do it. We are making way for other people. This is where I am still on the same train of what I was just about to talk about. It's all, there's so much to it. I'm trying to bring it all in. So we have to remember that we are trying to wake up out of this illusion, and I think we chose to do it. I think that is part of our purpose. It's part of our mission, and we all do that in different ways. We've chosen to do it by doing this podcast and whatever else we decide to do. I've also chosen to do it by doing the subconscious mindset work that I do as a hypnotherapist. There's so much more for us, I'm sure, but at the moment this is how we're doing it, right? And you guys will all be doing it in your own way. The most important thing though first is that you remember, you break out of the illusion first, because by doing that you will help others do that as well. You make the way for it.
Show them,
people.
Don't you?
People have done it before us, and they've helped us break out of the illusion. All the things that we've listened to over these years, if we've woken up, those people have all helped us to get to where we are as well. And this is what it is. It's like a snowball cumulative effect, right? This is why I'm so passionate about talking about this particular part of the simulation kind of theory. So I'll get back onto my train of thought. So we're in this illusion of where we have no power, okay? And there are actively people, let's just say, for lack of a better term, beings here on Earth now that are trying to keep us in it. I personally don't believe there's loads.
No.
I think there's just a few.
Right.
But they have their hands in lots of powerful places, and we're humans, and we are affected by our programming, by our fear, and we're very highly able to be manipulated when we're in fear. So good souls end up doing darker things because they're being manipulated unconsciously by these darker forces that are absolutely trying to keep us trapped in this illusion. And this is the most important thing you have to remember. Like you said earlier, you said you see now fear as a reminder, as an alert. Right? Fear, keeping people in fear, it's an absolute tactic, because when you are in fear, you are easily controlled, you are easily manipulated, and you start behaving like sheep, and most importantly you forget, you get further away from remembering who you are. And effectively what that is when you remember who you are, we're all one, right? So we come together. There's no like mine, grabby, mine, oh, my eggs, my toilet roll. There's none of that. It's like we're all one. There's more than enough, right? The further you get away in fear, it's all like mine. Mine, I'm looking out for myself. Screw the other person. I'm going to step on other people because I need to save myself.
And we all know they created that. That wasn't real, those scarcities.
No. And this is that's just, we're talking about COVID, right? But this has gone on for millennia.
They know what they're doing.
They know it's done over. And this is what I'm saying. There's like all these collective beliefs that we have to struggle, that we don't have our power. You know, we have no power. We're victims of our circumstances. The external is, you know, like we must work, we must get our head down, we must just fight to survive. It's all collective programming over thousands and thousands of years. And now we're sat here going, oh my God, this isn't right. Like I can see through it. And once you see it, like you said, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's like, it's done in plain sight. It's so clever. Like it's so obvious. But when you're asleep, I was there. You were there. Like there's no judgment here. It's like you can't help it. They are manipulating you through fear. But here's the thing, right? And this is where I will still get back to why I choose not to get attached to the news. And when you step out of that fear and you say, no more, I'm not allowing that fear in anymore, they absolutely lose all power over you. There is nothing they can do.
And so finally there's something we can do.
Exactly.
So we're not helpless.
Exactly. And you have to realise that first. As soon as they cannot, because they cannot control, they cannot, in this, again, we have to think about, You can say, oh yeah, but they can put up taxes and they could do this, they could do that, they
Yeah.
could take away my rights. No, you have got to stop thinking on that 3D level.
Yeah.
You have to rise up
Energetic.
in consciousness.
Yeah.
Think on an energetic
Yeah.
level. Think on this whole last week's episode. We're living in a simulation. We're coding our reality. We are absolute creators, and we are, whether we know it or not, we are creating everything that happens to us, all the bad, all the good. When you can step out and look at it from that consciousness level, they cannot control your reality. They cannot control what happens to you, unless the only way they can do it is if you allow them to manipulate you. So they cannot enter your code, but their fear tactics, if you allow them to scare you, they can then manipulate you to putting in a different type of code.
Yeah.
So when you say no to the fear, when you have outstanding courage, stubbornness, bravery, like openness, and obviously do all the work that tries to connect you back into who you are, and it's only, no one can tell you it. No one can say it to you. It has to be felt. It's a journey. But when you connect into that, the release that goes, it lets go of it. And honestly, like that's why I do that. That's why I don't watch the news. That's why I don't get involved in all the fear that is going on, World War III, bombs, Russia, blah 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 blah. Like I'm and again, there's this other thing that comes in where all of this stuff has made me not scared of death. And that's huge, because when you don't have a fear of death, it's unbelievable. What have they got? It's unbelievable what drops away when you don't have a fear of death. So that definitely comes into it as well. Listen to near-death experiences. We've got loads of near-death experience people coming up actually in the episodes. We've got some that we've already recorded to go back. That's the best way you can rid yourself of a fear of death, is listen to near-death experiences. But that also helps. So when you don't have a fear of death, I'm like, yeah, maybe World War III is going to happen. Maybe we're all going to blow ourselves up. All right. Okay. Well, if that's the way it's going to be, I'll deal with that when I get to it. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't be terrified if we were just about to be notified that a bomb was going to be dropped on us.
Exactly.
Of course I was, but I'll save that for that time. Right now, I am choosing actively not to worry myself about that. And that's taken work. Like, I've heard stuff like that, and I felt my body react straight away and be like, and
panic.
then I'll take a minute and I'll just be like, okay, do I need to be worried about this right now? Is it going to help me? Is it going to do anything? Is it going to affect my code? Yes, it is. So I choose to let that go. That's practice. That's training of my nervous system. It's remembrance of like, oh yeah, I'm putting in a code. Do I want that plugged into my reality? No, I don't. And that is a choice. And so that's why I don't do that. That's why I don't want to feed the fear. Because that's what they rely on. They're so smart. They're like, and I see it, and it's almost like I can see. They drop one little thing, and then they're just like, well, let them do the rest, because then the fear spreads like a contagion, and then everyone's scared, and then everyone's talking about it, and everyone's bringing their vibration down, and then you're feeding that fear, and then it's the energy is only building, and the same goes for just again taking the stuff, wars that have been going on. Say Gaza, like say all of that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. People being scared, people getting angry, people doing all the things that thinking they're right and they're wrong and fighting and getting angry over it. Is it getting us anywhere different? No, it's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. What can we do that's different? Because that's not working. That isn't working. It's not doing anything.
The country is so divided and in turmoil. So what good has that done?
Nothing. And again, I'm looking at this from a very, very zoomed out perspective. I know there are people in there. I know there is just like travesties happening over there. I know there are humans that are suffering terribly. But you cannot have this conversation if you're looking at it from that 3D level. Again, I know people could say, well, it's all right for you, Tasha, sat here in your... Yes,
Yeah,
it
is. But what else are you
It
going
is,
to
but
do?
what are you going to do? And you can keep having that conversation, but you will be stuck in the 3D
Pointless.
reality.
Yeah.
You will be, until you can come and zoom out of that and then look at it from this perspective. Then you start seeing this is where the work is done. And the thing is these dark forces or whatever, they are keeping you in the illusion. They are relying on that thinking.
Yes.
They are relying on people going,
they love
who
it.
do you think you are? People getting angry at me, getting triggered by me, because it's feeding the wheel of fear.
Yeah.
And it takes, and for so long, people have gone, I've gone, everyone's gone in their lives, oh my God, I don't want to upset people. I don't want people to be angry at me. I don't want to trigger people. It takes people now, who people are doing it, to stand up and go, that's okay, you can be angry at me. You can think I'm the worst person. You can think I'm ignorant. You can think all the things. You carry on, and you can carry on having that in your reality. But I'm choosing to have this view, take the hate, not worry about people think, because I know what I'm doing. I'm working on an energetic level.
Yeah.
So now I'm not feeding into the fear. I am working on the fact that I need to do me.
Yeah.
Because this all comes
if we
from
all
inside.
did that,
exactly. And I need to work on the inside. So I need to hold the vibration of the like the visualization, like whatever. There's lots of stuff that I do, but effectively what I need to do is hold the hope that, or the vision. It's not hope, it's I can't not see it any other way, that humans are good, that we are going to remember who we are. More and more of us are waking up and remembering every day. And the more of us that can have this step out of the fear, out of the illusion, step out of it, they lose their grasp on us. The more that it happens, the more people are going to wake up, and it's going to separate, it's going to break. We are not going to be able to live in a reality of scarcity and fear when they can't hold us into it.
Exactly.
And that's when you start creating like a heaven on earth. And I'm doing it for the good of everybody, for the good of humanity, because like I said, I realized I cannot go over and I cannot stop wars in Gaza. I cannot stop horrendous things happening. I cannot stop murderers or abusers doing these things unless that's my path, unless I was put here and I feel a soul calling to go out and be a missionary or do whatever. I don't know what people do. There are absolutely people that are here on this earth to do that. I know that is not what I am here to do. No. That's not what I'm ever going to do. So I have a choice. I can either feed the fear and I can continue feeling guilty, bad, angry, all of the things, and feed into it and feel crap myself, because then that's creating my reality. Or I can hold the vision of love. I can send energy and healing to those souls, to that land, to the area, because like land holds energy. So I can do all the energy work. And again, this takes trust, this takes faith, this takes a journey of understanding that energy is real and how powerful it is. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not, doing something. It's all, but all of a sudden, when I do that, if I hear something on the news, instead of going sad and fear, I'll go close my eyes and I'll send so much love to all the people that are there. I'll send them strength. I'll send love to the anger. Again, it comes back to what we said when we first said, the darkness cannot outshine the light. You have to be the light. You have to shine. It's not about fighting. No. It's not about getting angry. That's not got us anywhere. At this point, we have to wake up and say, it's not about fighting. It's not about hate. It's not about you're right, I'm wrong. It's about just shining and emitting love and holding the faith that humanity will remember who we are, and that melts away. And again, this bigger what drives me, because I do like proving people wrong and going, ha, you're not going to do this to me. It's just in me. I can't help it. But I always come back when I'm doing that to this, like I said, I keep doing this when I'm doing it. I don't know. It's like, I suppose I see it as like a prison, like this illusion, those dark souls, beings, whatever, whoever you are, whoever they are, I just go, ha, you are not getting me. You are not doing this. And I'm going to wake up everyone else, and you can do what you could try.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes, because now I'm not helpless.
No.
Now I'm making a difference.
Exactly.
And it's coming from a place that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. When I feel good, my vibration's high and I'm remembering who I am and I am shining my light.
Yeah.
They cannot extinguish it.
Yeah.
I've locked them out of the system.
Mm.
I've locked them out. The files come up.
Love it.
And I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it feels so good. It
Yeah.
feels so much better than sat at home, feeling sad, feeling scared, feeling angry.
Yeah. For what? You can't do anything.
And you can't argue with that.
No, you can't.
Or you can if you want,
Well,
but that's
of course
okay.
you can.
Go for it and live in your reality of
Yeah.
fear and anger and all the things.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't help you. Or if it does, if it makes you feel better, that's great. You carry on doing it. I'm not here to say my way's right.
No.
I'm just here to say from all my experience, from everything I've learned and questioned about myself along the way, and trial and error,
Yeah.
I have very much seen one way doesn't work.
Yeah.
One way clearly does work.
Yeah.
For me. And I know I'm not even halfway there yet. There's so much more. There's so many ways that this fear, this illusion has still got its claws into me, and I'm trying to peel out them one by one.
Yeah.
But overall, this understanding that I had a fair while ago has really helped me be able to, this bigger understanding has really been able to help me then start pulling out the smaller ones.
Yeah. The ones you didn't notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more everyday ones, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm speaking on a very, very zoomed out,
Yeah.
higher consciousness level.
Yeah.
But we are still living in the human world, and we do still dip in and out. It's just what happens in this remembrance journey. We dip in and out of the 3D and the density, and it's about, our job is about trying to just hold that higher vision. Sometimes you do get sucked down.
Yeah.
But when you can remember, like, I hope that there's like little images that can stay in people's minds, so you can remember this illusion, this like sheet that's over your simulation, that they're covering, and they're deliberately placing it over you. Yeah. But they have no real control over you.
No.
You think they do. You think you're a victim, and you are not. And as soon as you can start, and listen, you're not going to listen necessarily to this episode and go, oh yeah, I get it. It's not about that. We're all in different stages. It takes us time and understandings to get to where we are. But if this can at least spark something that you can hold on to as a little anchor, every time you feel the fear, every time you see the news and go, do I want this coded into my reality? Who is this trying to, like, cheeky buggers, trying to, like, catch me in this wheel of fear again? And also just remember, like, you are not controlled by it. Absolutely, you are not. You can step out of it anytime. Remember, they cannot enter your code for you. They only manipulate you and get your fingers to type in the code that you don't want. So just fight the fear in every way. And it's not, no, retract that. Don't fight the fear. Outshine the fear. Don't fight anything. It's not about fighting. Release it.
Yeah. Fear isn't real.
Just shine.
I mean, I've heard people banging on about that for years, and I've never got it.
Yeah.
Well, I get it, but I didn't, feel it. Fear's not real. Fear's an illusion. False ego appearing real. Yeah, okay, good. That's good. I liked it, but I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
But now I can really feel that it is not a real emotion. It has been created, and we don't want it anymore.
Yes. I'm so curious to hear what you guys think of this.
Yeah.
I would love to have, like, conversations and topics on, like, of debate on this, like, or not even that, but just, like, if you were like, well, Tash, I just
But what
don't,
about this?
yeah, what about this? I just can't quite get that, like, because this is where I'm good at reframing. This is what I do with my clients. There's always another way of looking at things.
There is.
And if
you're open, you'll get it.
Yeah.
You will.
And it's not easy all the time.
No.
But it's just a matter of trying to remain open. Remember, your beliefs are only thoughts that you've thought over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've got conditioned as a collective. We came into this, as soon as we stepped into this simulation, we're being bombarded by the collective thoughts and beliefs of how reality is, you know, like, so try not to be rigid. If ever I hear myself go, oh no, well that can't be done,
Right,
I'm like, oh, hello,
that's
why
good.
not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
It's just we have to be open to realizing that anything we believe will become our reality. So if there is a belief that is not serving you, and your ego will chuck up so many reasons, real valid reasons as to why it's true.
Yeah.
Remember why it can do that. Because if you're believing it, you're coding it, and you are going to see it as truth in your reality. You delete that code and you put in another one, you will begin to see that as your truth as well.
Yeah.
This is where we all, it's not an easy journey.
No,
it's
not.
You have to be relentless. You have to be brave. You have to be a rebel.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to remind yourself constantly. This is why I'm so like I keep saying about these anchors. You have to live it. You cannot just listen to podcasts or read books or have it all up here and go, yeah, I get that up here. It's no good.
No.
It won't stick. You've got to start living it in your small everyday life experiences. Exactly. And don't go full on in with like the hardcore stuff that's got a real heavy, strong, dense emotion attached to it. Start with the stuff that you don't care so much about, that you're a little bit less attached to, that the feelings, they're still there, the fear or the anger or the whatever, they're still there, but just start on the easier ones always.
Yeah.
Practice it, like my eggs and my tomatoes,
exactly.
you know, and just they become your anchors, and they become your questions. It's like a blocker. Like you have a belief, and this fear, this illusion, these things that they send out, your little experiences slip in and go, no, hang on a minute, stop that. Are we going to let that come through? Are we going to let that fear come through? Because I remember when I did this is my, I create my reality, right? I'm not, do I choose to let you get into my code?
Like you say, you become so protective.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot of work into this. Once you realise you're in a simulation,
yeah,
you're putting a lot of work into your own game, and protecting it and making it as good as it can be. So we're not giving into that anymore.
No. And remember, like, I suppose want to really leave it here. Like we said before, I truly believe there are so many of us that have chosen to come here in this particular time, in this particular life now, to wake up and to say, no more. This illusion's been going on for too long, and we've been called in from all areas of the universe.
Feel it spreading, don't you? We are really starting to. I guess we're uncovering their darkness, as opposed to like I saw our light going over the darkness, but we're sort of like pushing their darkness away to reveal the layers of their light.
Well, yes, it's just like, just imagine, they're like a sheet. They're just darkness, right?
Yeah.
Every single one of us that wakes up is like a candle.
Yeah.
And so every candle, like, I don't know why it's a candle, I'm old fashioned.
Oh, I love it.
But every candle that gets lit, the darkness goes away a little bit more.
Yeah.
Until eventually there can't be any darkness anymore, because there's just so many candles, there's so much light. And that's what we have to do. Not everyone in this lifetime is going to be able to see the way that we see. And I am not saying that I am right and they are wrong. I am absolutely not saying that. I'm saying that I choose to see reality
for you, isn't it?
that way. It's right for me. It's a remembrance. Like, you can't explain it. It's not something when someone tells you 2 + 2 is 4. It's not that.
No.
It's in you. It's a remembrance that you feel in your body, and
like you remembered why you came here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes sense. It's like, it's something you never knew.
Yeah.
And once you know it, you cannot see life any other way.
No.
And so I think that for those of us that are here to do this, like I said, where I think when we're reaching a tipping point, and the more of us that can see life in this way, that can just put down our swords almost and say, No, like, I'm done. I'm not going to get angry at other people. I'm not going to blame Anne Middleton. I'm not going to get angry at this person, or even like these beings, these dark beings. I'm not going to get angry. I'm not angry at them. I'm not angry.
No.
I'm just like, you do you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to like stand here, smile, shine my light, tell whoever wants to hear about it. Well, this is like, that's why we do the podcast, right? We'll put this out here so whoever needs to hear it can hear it. And that's my way of going out and doing the charity working, right?
Yeah.
This is how I'm doing it. Plus my energy. Do not underestimate your energy on an everyday basis. If you walk out into the world being you, shining your light, and when I say being you, you are a soul of love. You are light, you are love. That is who you are. You are abundance, you are joy. Go be that in the world. Go smile at that person behind the counter. Go tell someone their hair looks nice. Like, be that light. And your energy, on an energetic level, you are raising the collective vibration. We are all connected. We are all, and the earth, like, we are all just vibrating energy fields.
Yeah.
When you do that in your own little ways, you are raising the vibration and you are helping other people awaken because they have to resonate with you. Their vibration has to rise to yours. And the more, just imagine then, the more of us that are doing that, the more people are going to have to, like, there's going to be so much of this high vibration. They're going to have to resonate with us. And the ones that can't will simply drop away. They're okay. They're fine. They're on their journey. They will be vibrating in a reality that matches their resonance, their density. I know now, with this understanding of vibration and of resonance and of you experience your reality depending on where you're vibrating, on where your consciousness level is. I know that I want to try and work to be as high vibrational as I can, so that I can live in a reality that I'm supposed to live in, because we are all supposed to live in that. That's why I'm trying to raise my vibration. I want to do it so that other people can do it, and so that we can all, I'm not just doing it for me, so we can all live on an earth where everybody understands that they're loved, where everyone understands there is no scarcity. We are not trapped. We don't have to live to survive. We get to live to be creative, to share, to collaborate, to bring through our own gifts, knowing that there's no scarcity. We don't have to fight to survive, and that life gets to be fun. That's the earth that I want to live in. And that's why every day I do what we've spoken about in this episode, because I want to live on an earth that, like, I want my children and my grandchildren to live on an earth like that. And I can't stress strongly enough how that's part of, like, my mission here. That's my sole purpose here. And I just think there's so many of us have that same sole purpose, but we're doing it in different ways. You're not all going to do a podcast, right? You're going to do it in your own way. And the more you raise your vibration and the more you become yourself, the more your sole purpose, the way that you're supposed to do that, will make itself known to you. But you can't do that until you realize that, until you get yourself out of this hamster wheel of fear, until you pull back the sheet of that illusion. It's going to make everything so much easier for you to be able to do, because when you're stuck in scarcity and fear and all of the things that they are trying to keep you in, your creativity is stunted. You don't have time to think, oh, what's my sole purpose? How do I bring this through? Because you're thinking, freaking out, how do I make my mortgage payment? What if the world's going to blow up? And there's so much bloody, like, awfulness happening at the moment. I don't want to live here anymore. You know? So, I just go be you. Remember that we're living in a simulation. Remember that there is also, unfortunately, within our simulation, a virus, that is this illusion of fear and scarcity that we've been trapped in for millennia. But now is the time. This is such a special time. Now is the time that we have all collectively chosen as souls to come down here, remember who we are, so we can help everybody else remember who they are.
Oh, Atlantis, here we come. That's for another episode.
Oh, to be continued.
That's what we're going to get to, isn't it?
Yes.
The lighter we can become, the more high vibrational we can become, the more we can live heaven on earth again like we used to.
Oh, and just
Thank you, Tash.
and just feel it, like just before
Yeah.
we go, like just close your eyes and just like just if you can like feel it, if it does something to you inside, if it's like warm or it feels like home or it feels like, oh yeah, like it's in you, there. And if you have things like going, oh no, that's not, that's never going to happen, or any kind of objection, just observe it.
Yeah.
And just be like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Why
can't I
get on
believe
board
that?
with this?
Yes. Yeah.
Because who tells you I need to stop? I need to stop. But like, who says it has to be hard? Who says that what we're saying is mental? Who says that the unseen world, anyone who talks about this stuff, is crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that? Question.
Yeah.
Why do you think that so strongly? Why do you think that you are right? I mean, probably people that are listening to this aren't thinking that, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you need to have the strength, because you're going to have people that oppose you, that you're going to have loads of limiting beliefs and stuff that you've brought through from past lives and ancestral stuff, where you're scared of talking about this stuff or even believing in this stuff because you've been persecuted for it in the past, you've been punished for it in the past, you know, like you've been killed for it in the past. All these things, there's going to be loads of stuff you're holding on to that's going to be telling you why you shouldn't believe this. But that's why I said, like, close your eyes and just feel it, just let yourself feel it, and just those thoughts will come in and just go, interesting, just wait, just a sec, let yourself, it's almost like getting back to that childlike, allowing yourself to dream like we did when we were kids, where we used our imagination, and we didn't get angry at ourselves for imagining we had fairy wings or a mermaid tail, or we had a superhero cloak and we could fly. We didn't get angry. We didn't tell ourselves, you're delusional, like, get back to the real world. No, we let ourselves do it, and we enjoyed the feeling. Let yourself do it just for a minute. Let yourself imagine how awesome it could be if you truly could create anything you wanted, if you had no limitations, if you could, you know, live in a way that you wanted to live, if you could spend your days doing things that you love to do, and everybody came together and helped, and there was no worry about money or paying your bills or, you know, the threat of all the stuff that's going on. Just imagine and feel what that would feel like. Let yourself feel it, because that's the key. You've got to get hold of that feeling first. And then when all the objections come, you're more likely to, when you have that feeling, you're more likely to be able to, like, push them aside or question them. And as soon as you start saying, why do I believe that has to be the case? Everything starts unraveling. And remember, it's part of the illusion. Those thoughts are all part of this illusion that these dark forces are feeding you. Because what did I say? Beliefs are just thoughts that you think over and over again. Do you think all thoughts in your head are yours? No, they're not. They're in the collective energy field, and they are putting these thoughts out there, and they spread like wildfire. So question your thoughts. Question them and say, is this mine? Do I want this to be mine? It goes back to your code. They are not all yours. They are part of this illusion. Just choose. I'm going to stop talking. We need to stop. Right, I'm going to face this way so I can say goodbye.
She's done. I've cut her off.
Oh, jeez. Right, guys, let us know. Come into our private Facebook group. Let us know. Start a conversation. We'd love to hear it, because there's loads of podcast episodes that could kind of stem from this, or we could do a live, and we could there's loads of stuff we could do. It opens up a whole new thing, doesn't it?
Even if you're angry with us, come on, tell us. Because, you know, anger is just coming from fear, and fear's not real. We won't be offended. We love you.
And also, if you're confused, or if you're like, but what about this? Like we said, we can offer some reframes. You can, how about think of it like this, or look at it like this. And most importantly, like, get out there and start putting it into practice in your life, because then you won't need us to convince you or tell you how it is. You'll see it for yourself. And if you have any interesting little stories like that, where, like, your reality is different from other people's, then please do share, because again, it's all part of this evidence building that, you know, our human minds
to have.
We like to have evidence, so it's good. You can help other people by doing that as well.
Awesome. So enjoy.
Thanks, guys.